Hey everybody, welcome back to I Know a Guy. I'm Anthony, and this is the podcast where connections thrive. Each episode, we spotlight inspiring entrepreneurs, professionals, and individuals doing amazing things. Together, we'll grow your circle, spark collaborations, and discover new opportunities. Today, we're meeting Dr. Dean Sunseri and HollyKem Sunseri, co-authors of A Roadmap to the Soul, A Practical Guide to Love, Compassion, and Inner Peace, and the hosts of Transform You, Real Life Coaching with Dr. Dean and HollyKem Sunseri. With over 3 decades of experience at helping individuals, couples, and families heal and find purpose, they offer deep insights into overcoming trauma, breaking self-destructive patterns, and creating a more meaningful life. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Doing good. That was impressive.
Yes.
First try too. Yeah, no, I almost stumbled 4 or 5 times, but I stuck it together. I stuck the landing, so that's what's important. So I was really excited to have you guys on. I was a guest on your show, and you guys are doing awesome work. You're helping a lot of people. So there's a lot of folks out there that need to know you, get to see how great you guys are. But to start off, where are you located? Where are you calling in from?
We're calling in from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear the New Orleans.
New Orleans, yes, indeed.
The place where you celebrate everything.
So based on the accent, are you newer to the area? Have you been there for a while?
Born and bred myself. My wife is from Thibodeau, which is actually, if you can believe it, south of New Orleans. So she's from the bayou.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's awesome. If you have friends coming into town that have never visited before, where are you going? What are you doing? And where are you going for dinner?
Oh, wow. We have a restaurant for every day of the year and probably 3 different restaurants you could go to every day. So where are we going? We're probably going to...
Venezia's.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Venezia's is an Italian restaurant, but they serve the best steaks in New Orleans.
Yes.
And they're reasonably priced.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going there. And then right next door is a bakery called Brocata's, which is an Italian bakery that my great-grandparents were actually the original owners of that bakery. But they've sold it. But it has cannolis and gelato and the best desserts and cappuccinos around. So that's where we would go for dessert.
Yes. And we take a ride down St. Charles Avenue and then head to the quarter and walk around and try to walk off all that big meal we just had.
That's right. And if you come in the middle of the summer, you'll sweat it all out.
Oh, you'll definitely sweat it all.
Well, I get sweaty eating that gelato in the shade, so don't worry about me. I'll sweat no matter what time of the year it is. So, no, that's awesome. No, you had me at steak, so you could have just stopped right there and I'd have been sold. So that's awesome. Great. So what can you tell me about what you guys are doing?
Go ahead, honey.
Well, what we're doing, we life coach. And we have a course that we do. So what we really do is love on people. That's what we really do. Is people come to us and they're in a pocket of pain. Sometimes it feels like they're in the the whole Superdome of pain, but they're in a pocket of pain, and we help them feel safe enough to bring that pain out of the pocket and how to really love on that, and then learn a process that keeps them, we give them a lifestyle of how to do that without us.
And a language. Because we certainly believe each one of us has a destiny.
Yes.
You have a destiny, I have a destiny. Mm-hmm. And what stops us from reaching that destiny is our wounds, is the stuff of life that beats us up. But love is the foundation that allows us to grow to become who we're meant to be. And so we create a context, a language, a process, so that you can actually remove the blocks that keep you from being who you're called to be, and how to empower that. And then when those blocks rear their head, you'll have the skills to know what to do in order to kind of get back in the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. How'd you get started doing this? Is this something you both always wanted to do independently? Did you start after meeting, or what'd that story look like?
Yeah, well, we really met at a time when we were both on a pretty intensive growth process. We both had certain levels of brokenness in our lives. We came from very different places. She was coming out of the streets and I was coming out of the seminary. So we were on other sides of the spectrum. But what we had in common, where we were both really hungry to heal from some of the brokenness, very open and willing. And really the process that she went through, the process I went through, the way she saw it, the way I saw it, combined together into us creating our book, A Roadmap to the Soul. And that's been, it's really an outgrowth of the growth that we've had and the insights and the things that have poured into us. We put it together and we pour it into other people now.
Yep. Can't say it better.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. What is it that you love most about what you're doing? You guys are doing a lot of awesome things and you're helping a lot of people, but what about it is kind of, if you had to put a pin in your favor?
Wow, that's a good question, Anthony. I think what I love most about it is really being able to see who they really are. And I can, as they're speaking and sharing with me, like, I see the gold. And I think it's like a light, that I see. And being able to reflect back as a mirror of what that beautiful light is, no matter what's the darkness that was there or that is there. And I think that's probably my favorite part, is finding the gold and letting them see the gold, not just finding it, but also, bringing it out.
Yeah, there's nothing more beautiful than to see someone really become who they're meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we recently did a whole day with a group of actors, Hollywood actors. And, they were talking about the rejection and the hurts and the different auditions and the things that are holding them back from really reaching their destiny. And we did such amazing healing work that there was a renewed vigor in their original vision of what they were called to in terms of in arts and entertainment. And we even had one real success story. Is one of the guys that came through the process that night, he did an audition and he got the audition, he got the part, and he had to go up to Chicago and film. And so really to see people remove the blocks that keep them from being who they're really meant to be. And we get to witness that, we get to coach that. And then when they start to excel and be able to achieve these deep desires that they have, that's just a tremendous fulfillment for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and saving a marriage. That'll work.
Yes, you save a marriage, you save a family, and you save a neighborhood, really, a community. Right. Yeah, so we do a lot of couples work too. Yeah,
that's amazing. I can imagine trying to pick your favorite thing would be next to impossible, because everybody's going to have a different thing. But one of my favorite answers when I ask somebody about what they do and all that is when they answer it with other than, well, what I do is, you guys talked about purpose and you talked about destiny, and that's the kind of answer that I like the most, because that comes with knowing exactly what it is in particular that you do. Because a lot of people, they go, I do this, and they might be passionate about it, but they're not passionate about the whole bit of it, right? There's a part of it, and what it means to me when somebody goes, well, my passion and what I do and my purpose, my destiny is because they've cut away all the frills, and what's left is what their destiny is, right? Because that can be a part of what you do, but it's not your destiny. So that's awesome that you guys are there and you're able to kind of help people in that fashion, because that, like I said, that's amazing. I love it when I find that in others. So when you're looking at like your average client or a person that you're best able to help, what are some of the pain points that they may be going through that if they're dealing with X, Y, or Z, you two are the people they should be talking to?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, oftentimes we deal with people that are at transitional points in their life. The relationship's falling apart. They just experienced the death of a loved one and they're trying to readjust to that. They're got fired from a job and trying to reinvigorate their direction. So usually that's the commonality, is that they're in pain about a very transitional point in their life. And we come alongside them, and really I do it well. HollyKem does it better. She just knows how to coach people through their pain. And I've learned over the years. But once that begins to happen, then
I just think that's because I had a lot more pain. Don't put yourself down, honey.
Yeah, and I think once that happens, and you kind of get some relief from the emotional pain, then it really creates a space where a person can start walking in the direction that they feel called to do, or to go after their dream. And so we do the combination of those two, but we usually get them when they're in some very transitional point in their life.
Right. And we don't just stop with that. I mean, that's what I love about what we do, Anthony, is that, it's kind of like picking on, I don't know who, Shaq, let's just say, when he was playing ball. Shaq is a professional. He's a great basketball player, but his free throws could have used a little love, right? So he gets an extra coach. So it doesn't mean that he's not a professional. It just means in this area, he just needs a little more in some guidance, right? So for us, that's how we see it, is that we work with very successful people. They're, great mothers, great fathers, great businessmen, all kind of great actors, whatever it is. But where we come along is when there's this thing, this thorn in their side, and we love them through that. And we also empower it to continue to go for excellence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think comparing it to a sport is probably the best way of saying it, because it's very understood that that's what you need, right? In sports, if you're not good at something, find a coach that's going to help you with it. Whereas in business and in life, a lot of times you're like, well, I don't need a coach, but what it boils down to is somebody seeing it, that's a step away from it. What I always like to say is, if you have a batting coach, your eyes on the ball, you're trying to hit the ball, they're watching your back foot and saying, do you know that this is happening, without you realizing it? Because you're never going to see that without somebody guiding you to it. And what I love about your guys' approach is, there's two of you. Like Dr. Dean said, he goes, she's better at it than me. One of the phrases and sayings that I've said on here that I heard a while ago that it just keeps coming back up is, if you're a 7 out of 10 at what you're doing, and you partner with somebody else that's a 7 out of 10, but you're strong in different areas, you're a 20 out of 20. Right. So,
that's right.
What you guys are doing and the way that you're able to, help people, it's super awesome, because you could say something that's very, very similar to the same as what, the other one said, but it might just sound a little bit different to the right person and make more sense. I always tell people, I'm not going to say anything original, right? Every story under the sun's been told. But I'm going to say it in a way that somebody might understand a little bit better, even if they've heard it 1,000 different ways. So that's awesome. What about power partners? What are other professionals or individuals out there that you can synergize well with, find collaborations working with, or find like referral relationships with?
Right.
Power partners. What's the question again?
Yeah, like who you work well with, like referrals or for a long time we worked a lot with treatment centers.
Yeah.
For addiction, treatment centers for codependency, and that kind of thing. And they still have those today, but not like you used to. Just because the way it is. So for us, one of the things, for myself, and then for us, one of the things that was important when that started to have a hole in it and there wasn't places for that, instead of just doing individual work, that's when we started to do group work. That's when we started to create programs. So because people couldn't go like that anymore. The interest didn't pay, or they didn't have the programming anymore. So what we've tried to do is work within the way things are working and try to fill holes like that. Like now, like we do an online course because we have all of this now, right?
Yeah.
And they can stay at home. I mean, we all learned from COVID. You might not be able to leave your home, God forbid, and some countries didn't get to leave home for 2 years, in some cities. So in that, just trying to really, we work with anyone that, we can be an asset to,
Yeah.
And so, anything that we could help another company do or with us where we can refer back and forth. But today it's just a little different, like
our biggest power partner is actually Google, because Google sends us most of our referrals because we get up there on the Google search. But I would say that a lot of people that we help with, that we consult with, are because they may be teaching the X's and O's on the outside, but the persons that they're dealing with have blocks on the inside. And so, especially like in a consulting situation, a business consulting, a person may not be achieving their best. It might be something external that they're not doing, but sometimes it's an emotional block. It's self-doubt. It's fear. It's lack of a vision. It's all those things.
Families falling apart.
So we tend to be able to compliment people on doing the internal work to clear the things away so that they can execute on the outside.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to a new or an aspiring entrepreneur?
That's a great question. I would say, number one, you continue to learn, can continue to grow, just stay hungry. And secondly, make sure you have a vision of where you want to go. the clearer the vision. You create a 3-year vision, a 5-year vision, and to really be as clear as you can be. Because once you have a vision, you start walking to it, then the blocks will come up that you need to deal with on the inside. But create a vision, and if you need some help with the blocks, give us a call.
Right. And I would say too, as you're creating that vision, it helps you, like Dean was saying, the more specific, it helps you say no to the things that aren't part of the vision. Because, it's real easy as you're sharing your vision or you're doing your vision, somebody comes along and they see something else, which is really, really good, but it's not your vision. It's their vision. So if you have it, very specific and you're walking towards it and then something comes, you can say no to that and stay on your vision. And then also don't latch on to everyone's fear about your vision, because there will be a lot of people that will have fear about your vision because they haven't learned to live in their vision. So you just got to keep going with your vision and give them back their fear.
That brings them another point. Everybody is either a visionary, an implementer, or a maintainer.
Yeah, say that again. That's important.
Everybody can be in one category as a visionary. They see the future. An implementer that implements that vision.
Yeah.
And the third are maintainers. And so what happens, what's most frustrating for entrepreneurs who are visionaries, is that they have too many maintainers around who are trying to maintain the old way. Where I say, look for the people that are the great implementers that can buy the vision and can implement, and let go of the maintainers. Once you get momentum and get going, then they'll jump on board. But don't.
Then they'll jump on board. They could be afraid.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's fantastic advice, because it doesn't matter what you do. There's going to be people that want to give you advice, whether they've been there or not. And it's your job to, determine who you're going to, seek advice from first and foremost. But, from the unsolicited advice, what's important, what you need to, do. Because it's like if you stop at a small town on your way to Florida and they're like, well, the best way to get to where you want to go is you're going to want to go down. You can take a left, right? You're going to see on the right, it's going to say Mary Sue's Bakery. What you're going to want to know. You could absolutely take that directions, or you can follow the plan that you had ahead of time, the GPS, whatever it is. There's value to both, right? So you may go buy it. It's the best bakery you've ever had. So it might be worth the detour. But no, absolutely fantastic advice. How can people overcome past trauma to live a more fulfilled life?
You want me to? Okay. Well, one of the things is to know that it's important. Don't poo-poo it away, push it under the rug, because it's going to keep coming back. And it may be other things added to it, because, it's trying to have a voice. The trauma is trying to have a voice to be recognized so it can get the attention it needs. It's kind of like your leg starts bleeding and you hit it a long time ago, but you just keep kind of putting a Band-Aid on it and putting some hydroprocin on it and pretend it's not happening. And then one day it's like, oh, now I got to go to the doctor. It's really not well, right? And if I don't go and give it attention, then I'm going to have gangrene and it's going to get only worse. So when you have it and it's there, before it becomes really gangrene, you want to go. Right. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. That's what I love coaching about. It's not that something is wrong with you. It's that you deserve to go and just give it attention so it can be loved and move on.
The general rule is what's not talked out will be acted out. And so if experience trauma and it's coming up for you, you need to find a safe place to talk it out. Because if not, you're going to act it out in some manner.
It's going to cause problems.
Yeah.
Fantastic advice. How can self-awareness and compassion improve relationships and personal growth?
Well, you just look at the opposite. No compassion and no awareness, and you're guaranteed to have a failed relationship. So it is important to really be able to understand and be compassionate, to understand your own history, to take responsibility for your woundedness, your best parts at all. Because to the extent that you can do that for yourself is the extent that you'll be able to embrace that in others. I often use the example, if I have the grief of a loved one that I've never touched, I've never dealt with, and I have it inside, and you lose someone that's important to you, I won't be able to handle it because it'll bring up mine, and I'll shut you down, and that'll hurt our relationship. But if I learn to love and embrace that grief that I've experienced and have been loved through that, when you experience that, I will be there for you and I'll help you walk through it, which creates connection. So, there's a direct relationship between our ability to love others and the parts that we've been able to love in ourselves. And the opposite is true too. If I haven't been able to love and have compassion for certain aspects of my own journey, I will not be able to have that for you. So it's very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. How can someone break a self-destructive pattern in their life?
Well, the first thing is you got to know it's self-destructive. So you got to realize, and most people do know that. They just don't like to say it out loud, especially if someone's pointing it out. However, first you want to own it to yourself, and then own it to somebody that is a safe person. Then from there, the problem becomes is that if I stop a self-destructive behavior, the stuffed emotions, the stuffed emotional pain that's inside of me is going to come out. And that's why we go back to the self-destructive behaviors, or we get another one. So the goal here is that I can't just do one thing. I have to stop the self-destructive and find a safe place for myself for the okay, it's going to be gross, but I'm going to go here anyway. It's messy. Is that when you have the flu, you don't feel well. And you say all day, I'm not throwing up. I'm not throwing up. I'm not throwing up. But you got the flu. And by 4:00, you can't take it anymore. And you go to the bathroom and you throw up and you feel better. You go, why did I do that at 9 this morning? Because you didn't want to do it. It don't feel good. You don't like it. Well, it's the same thing with this, is that I got the flu. I got a self-destructive behavior that's not, healthy for me. And I need to go throw up, and I need to do it in a safe place. So it's just part of the process. And, we all deserve to throw it up. And we deserve to do that in a safe environment.
Yeah.
No, that makes perfect sense. You're carrying it with you all the time. You're either going to keep carrying it with you or you're going to get rid of it. So
that's right. Or it's going to make you really sick.
So yeah, gross, but a really good analogy. So
it's you can really see.
On 3, everybody throw up. 1, 2, 3.
If you're not watching us, right? I just like, oh God, who wants to go here? But it works.
No, if it works, no, absolutely, it makes a lot of sense. One question that I started asking everybody, it's quickly become my favorite one, is you guys are clearly doing amazing things. A lot of people, they pick up on that just by listening to you, but why you? Everybody, doesn't matter what you're doing. There's a million other people out there doing something similar or similar enough to kind of be the same. What sets you guys apart?
I'll go.
Go ahead.
Okay. What I believe sets us apart is that what we do complements what they do, or what they've already done. So any emotional work that they've done, any coaching, therapy, that what we do complements that. So it's an add-on, or it's the beginning of what you will continue to do in your life. So I love that I get to be in unity with other genres that are teaching people how to be kinder and better to themselves and how to love themselves through difficult times.
I also think what's unique is we've been married 33 years and we still are in love.
Yes.
which we have that to offer in terms of helping people. But I also think that we're very different. Like, she's very circular in thinking. She's very connected emotionally. I'm more linear. I'm more
educated
kind of thing. I mean, we work really well together because we complement each other. And that's what the feedback that we've gotten over the years. And also, we have been committed to, really, we got plenty of more work to do, but we've been very committed to our own process. Mm-hmm. And I believe that's the best groundwork to be able to assist others, is to really be committed to your own process, and then helping others is an outgrowth. So we have a lot of uniqueness in terms of working as a tandem that really helps address people on a lot of different levels that we wouldn't do if we were working individually.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. You guys cover way more strengths by there being two of you, right? It takes a village and you got a couple. So there you go. So awesome. Is there anything that I missed or that I failed to ask that you wanted to add?
You asked everything about our lives, and we've covered it in 20 minutes. No, I think you've done a really great job.
You have done a great job. You have really good questions, Anthony. I love that you're very thoughtful and you have a heart for the listener. I would say what I would want to say, I don't think you missed it. What I would want to say that's important to me to say to the listener is that you are worth it. You are all, no matter where you've been, what's happened to you, you are worth going in and doing what it takes to become everything. And do not leave nothing on the table on this earth. Go for it.
For those that are ready to stop leaving stuff on the table, how can they get a hold of you? Where can they find you?
Yeah.
The best way is to go to our website, ihaveavoice.com. And you can find there a link to our book, which is on Amazon, A Roadmap to the Soul. We have a link to our YouTube channel. We have hundreds of free videos if you're into that. And if you want to take a deep dive, we have Transform You, which is our intensive 4-month online coaching program for individuals and couples. All that information can be found at ihaveavoice.com.
And we have a podcast that we do live coaching on.
Yeah.
So we're a little busy, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's a really
and
good
you can
podcast.
check out Anthony's episode.
Yes.
I can say it's a really good podcast and you absolutely should. If anybody would like to get a hold of Dr. Dean and HollyKem, do it. They're the exact same in a one-to-one as they are here. You're going to walk away with a smile on your face, feeling a little bit better. And, you know, a lot of us could use that. So absolutely reach out to them, have that conversation. Super great people. If anybody out there would like to get a hold of me, you can find me at ikag.me. You can find more episodes, subscribe to our newsletter, connect with our growing community of awesome people like Dr. Dean and HollyKem. All of their stuff's going to be in the show notes, so we're going to be really easy to find. If somebody would like to be interviewed, you can also apply on my website. But I really appreciate both of you coming on here. You're helping a lot of people. You're doing just great things, and I'm excited that there's people like you out there helping others, because we need more of it. Right? We need more people to understand that it's okay to go get help, to talk to people that are going to be able to help you through what you're going through, and that you're not alone in it. I think that's the biggest thing. Is a lot of people think they're the only people to ever deal with X, Y, or Z, when it's going to be further from the truth. People go through it every day. You don't have to white knuckle through it. There's people like you out there. So have that conversation, reach out. Let's all go have an awesome day and grow our circles. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. God bless you and keep up the great work.
Thanks.